Donald Trump, the most unmanly president. Why don't the president's supporters hold him to their own standard of masculinity? Trump behaves in ways that many working-class men would ridicule. He wears bronzer, loves gold and gossip, is obsessed with his physical appearance, whines constantly, can't control his emotions, watches daytime television, enjoys parades and interior decorating, and used to sell perfume. They perceive his constant whining as fighting back. They perceive his simple English as relatable because they think an education makes you soft. They like how he objectifies and openly disrespects women. They like his bullying racism. They like that he eats fast food because taking care of your body isn't manly. Obviously this isn't how most men are, just the most shallow and insecure. Also he was running against one of the most influential self-proclaimed feminists of our times. He became a symbol for anti-feminism, and therefore supporting him meant you were inherently more masculine, hence the alpha/beta male memes. They justify his every behavior because they couldn't stand the idea of putting a feminist in office. The overt sexism forced the media to attack him, and his supporters. The victimhood mentality was reinforced and they felt like warriors in the culture war that ensued. However, the anti-feminist alt-right movement became more blatantly and undeniably racist over the years. While it radicalized many, their numbers dwindled as they continued to do stupid shit. That's why they're so desperate to go back to the good old days to associate literally anything with Hillary Clinton, because anti-feminism is what energized and angered his base in the beginning. Hopefully people aren't going to be fooled again by this nonsense in 2020. They like his buffoonery, simplicity, and overt sexism, and they felt insecure about voting for a feminist. Anyone remember how excited Trump was to pick out new drapes for the Oval Office? Late last year, I was watching some of a marathon of Anthony Bourdain's Parts Unknown and caught an episode where they were rafting down the Rio Grande, with sheer cliffs on both sides. Part of the show's conversation steered towards how that was literally Mexico on that side and Trump wants to put a wall up. It struck me, at that moment, that Donald Trump would have nothing to do with the outdoors unless it's a golf course. Hunting, fishing, boating, rafting, camping, hiking would all be abhorrent to Trump. Even a trip on the open road would be too boring for him. To him, land is a waste unless you're building something on it or profiting by taking something from it. The valued outdoor activities that a lot of his base enjoy would be just another source of whining and complaining from Trump. Because they imagine him like Ben Garrison does. Let's just say it. Trump is low class, and so are his followers. It's impolite, but there's no way around it. He is stupid, corrupt, lazy, and a liar. The only people who are able to follow someone like that are also stupid, or lazy, or corrupt, or a liar, or any combination thereof. That's just how it works. Winners don't follow losers. Only losers follow losers. Because they are hypocrites. Because receiving permission to be openly racist is such an awesome gift. It is so awesome that his supporters are able to overlook his cowardly, childish behaviors as well as his criminality, sex crimes, tax evasion, fraudulent business activities, theft, treason, his vulgarity, and his prolific dishonesty. Racism is a very powerful drug that is used and enjoyed by the rich and poor alike. If they had to deal with him on the job every day, they'd be singing a different tune. At a distance, he's a smug asshole that allows them to feel like their own behavioral standards are still acceptable despite knowing deep down the walls are closing in on their bullshit. I've got a shortcut for you whenever you're baffled about any contradiction between the ideals of the Republican base and their love for Trump. He scratches their culture war itch. Nothing else matters. It does not matter at all what other aspect he is failing in, as long as he's triggering the libs, they're happy. That's all they need. Right on. The people who call liberals snowflake idolize a man who whines daily about how unfair the world is to him. Riddle me that one. Not talking about his effeminate hand gestures and bronzer. What a farce, or their standard of Christianity. Or their standard of decency. Or their standard of morality. Or their standard of conservative politics. Dude doesn't meet any standard of what Republicans claim to be about. Maybe, just maybe, they wanted an asshole. This reminds of the German saying over the perfect Aryan man. Blonde like Hitler, fit as Goebbels and agile as Göring. These lunatics never apply their own standards to themselves, since they believe they are already above them. These folks believe Jesus was a white capitalist who loves guns and embraces hate. Thinking Donald Trump is manly is one of their more tame delusions. Have you seen footage from a MAGA rally? They have no standard of anything. Feeding time at a McDonald's is like fine dining to them. They don't read and are challenged by the deep thoughts on Fox News. Do you think Trump can grow a beard? Not that facial hair growth is the ultimate measure of a man's masculinity, but for some reason it popped into my head when I read this headline. I really don't think he shaves, it would complicate the tint, I think. Because they are in a cult. He violates the first rule of manhood, he dishes it out but can't take it. Fuck him and every man who is letting his fat ass off the hook for it. This is how Trump's cult members view him. https://imager.com/a/pd8gm. I would prefer people hold him to the standards of basic human decency rather than the standards of masculinity. Deleted. Remember that Hitler didn't meet his own guidelines for the genetic purity either. Not sure it's the best comparison. I feel horrible that I am gonna type this. Hitler got infrastructure built, had some stage presentation and could convey speech accordingly. They do share a love for abusing the fuck out of any race that they don't care about. Sad state of affairs we are in, vote. Because their standard of masculinity is basically Eric Cartman, he's banged a bunch of hot chicks and he's got tons of money and power. What's more masculine than that? /Trump supporters. I have always thought that Fox News panders to the worst in people, and brings out childish aspects in them. Trump is just the logical extension of that. I've thought about this a lot since 2016. My dad was of the World War II generation and died at age 75 20 years ago. Here we've got a man who doesn't respect women. Has a disdain for exercise, hard work, and fitness. Can't keep his mouth shut. Whines constantly and can't take responsibility for anything ever. Goes prostrate in the company of stronger men. Punches down whenever possible. Is laughably vain. Has no regard for truth or integrity or honor. Put it all together and you've got everything my dad detested in a man. I don't remember ever specifically having a conversation with my dad about DJT back in the 90s, because in the 90s he was just viewed as one more entitled pseudo-celeb bullshit artist with a mediocre intellect, but if we had talked about him I know what my dad would have thought and said. Since his death, I've been glad that my dad didn't live to see the 2000 election, 9/11, Hurricane Katrina, the Iraq War and a bunch of other things. I'm especially glad, though, that he didn't live to see DJT as POTUS because he would be losing his damn mind on a daily basis right now. I've seen him defended on Reddit using the word virile, so he must appear in different forms than what I've seen. Like a shitty Shoggoth or something. Deleted. The Don is that slimy gutless POS that talks and talks or tweets and tweets, then hides behind the biggest dumbest thug when push comes to shove. Usually it is a Friday he stirs the pot then hides at the golf course on his iPhone.